Hello and welcome to the GPAT Neighborhood. I'm your host, Steve Rowe, and our guest today is Dr. Michael Hardy, Director of the Institute of Outdoor Drama. It's a national organization that assists or works with theater professionals who are involved in outdoor theatrical productions, such as The Lost Colony near Matteo. Welcome to the GPAT Neighborhood, Michael.
Thanks, Steve.
First off, tell us a little history of the Institute of Outdoor Drama. When and where did it start, and who started it, and what were some of the original goals?
Well, it opened as an institution in 1963 at the bequest of then Governor Terry Sanford, who came to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, where a lot of this movement that had started outdoor theater, particularly historical outdoor theater, had begun with The Lost Colony and Under These Hills and Horn in the West and so on. And said, you know, the state is getting more and more requests from these outdoor dramas for help, and we don't know anything about outdoor drama. You guys ought to form an institute that help this field out, give them some technical advice. If new ones want to start, give them some, help them out with economic feasibility studies and that sort of thing. And so the university, in those days when budgets weren't such an issue, said, what a great idea, and they hired a professor from the theater department. They had a professor in the theater department. They said, you start this institute. And the first significant director of it was Mark Sumner, who did it for around 28 years, I think. And it was free. It was a free service, like a continuing ed service of the University of North Carolina. And first, of course, all the North Carolina dramas got involved, and then it sort of spread out to Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio, and so on. And they did research, they published monographs, all that kind of thing. Succeeding Mark was a fellow named Scott Parker, who had been in the who was also a Carolina playmaker, and had taught theater at Duke, and had actually been the general manager here for Ed Lacine at East Carolina University's theater department, and had been the general manager and producer of The Lost Colony for several years. So Scott took over, and he continues to be a good friend and good mentor to me in this project, and ran it for 18 years. And in that time, they began to expand their notion of what was considered to be a legitimate member, from the historic outdoor dramas like The Lost Colony or Under These Hills, which were sort of tourist attractions in remote areas which had some sort of significant history that you'd do a show about, to outdoor theaters in general. So that led in Shakespeare festivals, that led in Renaissance festivals, it led in theaters that would do musical comedies or drama, but do them in an outdoor amphitheater or an outdoor setting of some kind.
We talked also a little bit about asked about the purpose or the goals of the institute. Why does an outdoor drama need help? Tell me what kind of services you all
How many ways
provide.
can I count?
Yeah. What all services do you provide for? It's not like someone saying, "Hey, like Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland saying, "Hey, let's put on a show."
Well, that does happen.
Does it really?
It does happen. We are about to. We've just finished in February. One of our products is a feasibility study for a community that wants to open up a new drama. So we just did one for Spearfish, South Dakota, which is near Mount Rushmore, which used to have an outdoor drama, which closed several years ago. We just finished a feasibility study for them back in February. Another company community up in Canada, near Regina in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, is got a story that they want to do, and they've actually got a play, and they've tried it out a few times in an outdoor environment, and we're going up next summer to do a feasibility study for them. So that is one of the services we do, and it's a complicated business starting a new theater. And I'm telling, and we get a fair number of inquiries about it, but you're putting together three very difficult things, individually very difficult. One is get a good script, have a good production of it that the audience will like. That's a really hard thing to do. Broadway consistently tries and fails to do it, and it's only one out of a million that actually makes a good show. So that's a hard thing to do. Start a new nonprofit corporation that can be self-sustaining with fundraising involved, with a board of directors that's productive, and a board of directors and a staff that knows what they're doing, and sustain it over a period of years. That's a really hard thing to do. And finally, find some land, design, build a theater that's acoustically effective, that works for the audience, that supports the show that's being done in it. That's also, and are you asking a community who wants to start a new outdoor drama to do all three at once?
Right.
So it does take a lot of professional guidance, and what we do is we send in a team of consultants marketing experts, architect, managers, people with expertise in playwriting and directing, to advise these communities. And we put together 150, 200 page package for them to guide them, and then we kind of stay with them. But I think one of the most valuable products that we have is the network that this represents. When you run an outdoor drama, you never are in a town with more than one.
Right.
There's only one, and there's often
probably only one in the whole region.
For a long radius. Way. And it's not like you're a doctor, where there are a lot of doctors in town, or you're a lawyer, or you're a businessman. You're the only one, and nobody really understands your business. So you need a network of people who face the same kind of challenges and issues that you do. We're looking at another project, which I hope to kick off next year. A lot of the amphitheaters are older amphitheaters. We're looking to design a template for a contemporary amphitheater using the latest and contemporary technology, maybe size it in 2 or 3 different sizes, so that it can be a starting point for any group that wants to start a new outdoor drama. We can say, here's the best research available. We'll spend some money on that and raise some money to get that, and get an architect involved and acousticians and so on. And there isn't such a thing. There isn't a recipe for how do you do a physical amphitheater. So that's another project.
You've been watching the GPAT Neighborhood, and our guest has been Dr. Michael Hardy, Director of the Institute of Outdoor Drama, part of East Carolina University's College of Fine Arts and Communications. The Institute is marking its 50th anniversary this year, and Dr. Hardy has been Director since early 2012. I'm your host, Steve Rowe, and until next time, goodbye.